How's your day been? I hope happy and sound. Today I'm going to read out a story to you, which is very inspiring and motivating. It's about a teacup. It has been floating on WhatsApp. I wonder who's written it, but it's a beautiful story. And I have been repeatedly reading it again and again. So I thought I might as well read out to all of you out there. You love this story or not, but each time when you sip in a cup of tea, you will remember this story. So let's get started. There was a couple who took a trip to England to shop in a beautiful antique store to celebrate their 25th wedding anniversary. They both liked antiques and pottery, and especially teacups. Spotting an exceptional cup, they asked, "May we see that? We've never seen a white cup so beautiful." As the lady handed it to them, suddenly the tea spoke. "You don't understand. I have not always been a teacup. There was a time when I was just a lump of red clay. My master took me and rolled me, pounded and patted me over, and I yelled out, 'Don't do that. I don't like it. Let me alone.' But he only smiled and gently said, 'Not yet.' Then, wham! I was placed on a spinning wheel, and suddenly I was made to suit himself, and then he put me in the oven. I never felt such heat. I yelled and knocked and pounded at the door. 'Help! Get me out of there!' I could see him through the opening, and I could read his lips as he shook his head from side to side. 'Not yet.' When I thought I couldn't bear it another minute, the door opened. He carefully took me out and put me on the shelf life, and I began to cool. Oh, that felt so good. This is so much better, I thought. But after I cooled, he picked me up and he brushed and painted me all over. The fumes were horrible. I thought I would gag. 'Oh, please, stop it. Stop!' I cried. He only shook his head and said, 'Not yet.' Then suddenly he puts me back in the oven. Only it was not like the first one. This was twice as hot, and I just knew I would suffocate. I begged, I pleaded, I screamed, I cried. I was convinced I would never make it. I was ready to give up. Just then the door opened, and he took me out again and placed me on the shelf, where I waited and waited, wondering, what's he going to do next? An hour later, he handed me a mirror and said, 'Look at yourself.' And I did. I said, 'That's not me. That couldn't be me. It's beautiful. I am beautiful.' Quietly he spoke. 'I want you to remember. I know it hurt to be rolled and pounded and patted, but had I just left you alone, you would have dried up. I know it made you dizzy to spin around on the wheel, but if I had stopped, you would have crumbled. I know it hurt and it was hot and disagreeable in the oven, but if I hadn't put you there, you would have cracked. I know the fumes were bad when I brushed and painted you all over, but if I hadn't done that, you never would have hardened. You would not have had any color in your life if I hadn't put you back in that second oven. You wouldn't have survived for long because the hardness would have not have held. Now you are a finished product. Now you are what I had in mind when I first began with you.' The moral of this story. So what is the moral of the story? God knows what He's doing for each one of us. He's the potter and we are His clay. He will mold us and make us and expose us to just enough pressures of just the right kinds that we may be made into a flawless piece of work to fulfill His good, pleasing, and perfect. So when life seems hard and you are being pounded and patted and pushed almost beyond endurance, when your world seems to be spinning out of control, when you feel like you're in a fiery furnace of trials, when life seems to stink, try this. Brew a cup of your favorite tea in your prettiest teacup, sit down, think of this story, and then have a little talk with the potter. God bless you all. So each time when I sip in my tea, I think about the cup story. This inspires me and motivates me to go much ahead in life, because I feel I'm being pounded and patted and pushed for a reason till I become a final product. And when I become a final product, it's going to be more beautiful. So with that note, thank you and have a great night ahead.